The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
We've heard it time and time again. Micro, small and medium-sized enterprises need adequate funding to survive. And Director of Economics at the Caribbean Development Bank, Dr. Justin Ram, says it is necessary now more than ever. In fact, he says the private sector must be the engine of growth in the tough economic times. Dr. Ram says the majority of employment is not found in large organizations, but in SMEs. Despite this, these businesses continue to face the great challenge of accessing financing.
We did some research on this maybe about 3 years ago, and we found that the problem wasn't a lack of finance. The money is there. What we found that when we spoke with the bankers is that when individuals or small entrepreneurs come to them, they have no clue how to present a proper case to them. So people are not even keeping accounts. So, how am I going to lend to you and I don't even know if your business is profitable or not? You're telling me it's profitable, but that's not good enough. I need to see the evidence. And so these are some of the issues.
Dr. Ram says greater effort must also be made to get the average person interested in investing in small businesses.
So you might have some savings in the bank and you want to get some return that's higher than what the bank is giving you for that term deposit. Why not invest in a new entrepreneurial activity? Now, I am not going to invest in a new entrepreneurial activity if I'm unsure how I'm going to get my money out. And so we think that this is why developing the junior stock exchange and Jamaica, I heard a few weeks ago, are thinking about developing a micro stock exchange. Because when I put my money into that business and it's doing well, then the easiest way for me to get my money out is if that business is now listed on the stock exchange. And I can get more people to probably come in and buy my shares.
We're learning that Barbados will continue oil exploration despite government's plan to transform Barbados to 100% renewable energy by 2030. Word of this from Minister of Energy and Water Resources, Wilfred Abrams. Now, Minister Abrams says government remains committed to ensuring there will be no consumption of fossil fuels locally come 2030. And he outlined a plan for all hydrocarbons produced on land and offshore.
You know those oil nodding donkeys that you all see over there? We're going to keep pumping. We're going to keep exploring. But what we discover, whether here or offshore, we are going to export and use that money to develop programs in Barbados to enfranchise Barbadians. But locally, domestically, we are done. By 2030, we will be finished with oil and gas as a forms and a means of generating electricity.
Time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across our region.
In Jamaica, NCB Financial Group Limited was the volume leader with 12,616,011 units. In Trinidad and Tobago, Trinidad Cement Limited was the volume leader with 207,291 shares changing hands, all for a value of $564,081.15. And here in Barbados, Sagicor Financial Corporation Limited was the volume leader, trading 11,026 shares at $2.44 each.
Water Wednesdays, we're on the road today in Bushy Park, where we're at the newest installment of the Barbados Water Authority, yet another pumping station being set up to address problems of water shortages and outages in St. Joseph. We've heard the complaints, we've seen them on social media, and we have the Director of Engineering here with us, Charles Leslie, to give us some answers about what is happening in that rural parish. Charles, so many complaints about water outages in St. Joseph over the past few weeks. What exactly will this pumping station so far away help to do there in St. Joseph?
Okay, thank you, Shane. This pumping station, although it seems to be far away, is going to be taking water from our Groves system. About 2 years ago, we did an installation at Groves and St. Philip to produce about 3 million gallons per day. So far, we're not utilizing all of that water, and what we're doing with this pumping station is taking some of that water, transferring it up District C into the Bowmanston system. The water that we would have traditionally moved from Bowmanston pumping station into that Messiah Street area, that water now we're going to transfer that to Castle Grant and to Golden Ridge, and then that water will be transferred to Castle Grant. So this pumping station is going to be doing about 2.25 million gallons per day. So those customers that will be taken off of the Bowmanston system now will be fed by this pumping station, and this water and the water that would traditionally have gone from Bowmanston into that Messiah Street Society area would now be transferred to Golden Ridge and then on to Castle Grant. The Castle Grant system takes about 2.5 million gallons per day. Although we have the 2 new boreholes in the bottom, they're constantly supplying water, but it needs additional inputs from either Golden Ridge or Apeshill. So those are producing approximately 1 million gallons per day constantly, but that 1 million gallons is not enough to satisfy the full demand of the Castle Grant area. It needs an additional 1.5. So this excess that we're sending from Golden Ridge into the Castle Grant area will assist, and we're also taking some from the Apeshill side, which is coming off of the Shop Hill system, to go into the Castle Grant area. And what is happening, we have done some upgrades at Ionics. We're nearing the completion of those upgrades now, so that's why you would have seen work being done at Trent, some work being done at St. Stephen's, and that work, once it is completed, will allow us then to put additional 3 million gallons from the desal plant into the system. Okay. And we will be able to then to extract some of that at Lancaster to take to Apeshill, and then from Apeshill onto Castle Grant.
How long before residents of St. Joseph see some relief from some of these outages and low pressure that they've been seeing in recent weeks?
Okay, for this pump station here at Bushy Park, as you can see, our guys are here testing it. They've been here for the last week just testing the station. And when you go further down the street, you will see that the guys were also checking the residences to make sure that we don't introduce high pressures into those homes. And then on the western side at Trent's, those upgrades we're targeting for the second week in June, the second or so week in June, provided that everything goes good. So we're testing those 2 systems now, but the residents within a couple of weeks should be able to get relief. In the interim, we're continuing to monitor the community tanks that we have in the areas and use our tankers to, to keep them filled. But within a couple of weeks, the residents will definitely see some improvements to the water supply going into the Castle Grant area.
Okay, so some relief is coming. Please, for now, just hold strain. Tankers will be sent to those communities affected, and the Barbados Water Authority will continue to refill the community tanks as is required. But we want to thank you for continuing to watch Water Wednesdays for the updates. You can go to our Facebook page as well for additional information to see what is happening, where the outages are, and how we are helping to address those problems. Or you can check us out on YouTube, in our YouTube channel. You can definitely find us there on Water Wednesdays.